Hello and welcome to my channel, Lifestyle and Fashion Tea. And on this channel, we talk about everything from fashion to reaction. I want to get into Bloody Sunday. I wanted to post this Sunday, but I totally forgot. I am so sorry. Sunday was the anniversary of the March in Alabama, Elusive Racial Progress in Selma. Now, they called this a Bloody Sunday because a peaceful march, what was supposed to be a peaceful march, ended up being a bloody march. Several law officers attacked civil rights activists, and we all know what that looked like. So it is now known as Bloody Sunday. And again, every year they make the march on the bridge in memory of this day. So let's get into it. People make the pilgrimage annually to walk across the iconic Edmund Pettus Bridge, where on March 7th, 1965, law officers attacked civil rights activists in an incident that became known as Bloody Sunday. This march was led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The late Georgia Congressman John Lewis was one of the leaders of what was supposed to be a march from Selma to Montgomery, motivated by the unaliving of Jimmy Lee Jackson, a black man pow-powed by a state trooper after a civil rights demonstration in nearby Marion, Alabama. "We got to the highest point on this bridge," said Lewis in an interview with NPR, standing on the bridge 10 years ago. "Down below, we saw a sea of blue Alabama state troopers." The Alabama governor, George Wallace, the staunch segregationist, sent state troopers to gauge the march. So here we are now, year 2025, only 60 years later, at the same bridge, Edmund Pettus Bridge, doing the yearly march. Let's continue. "You are ordered to disperse," Major John Cloud commanded the crowd. "Go home or go to your church. This march will not continue." The peaceful marchers, including youth, refused to turn back. They kneeled and prayed. Then troopers and sheriffs, deputies, some on horseback, attacked, beating people with batons and launching tear gas canisters. President Lyndon Johnson gave a pivotal speech to Congress a week later, calling Selma a turning point in American history, likening it to the famous American battles at Lexington and Concord, Appomattox. Really, it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice, he said, and we shall overcome, echoing the refrain of a popular freedom song, "We shall overcome one day." What took place on that bridge literally changed the face of American politics, says Alabama Democrat Terry Sewell. Terry Sewell grew up in Selma and represents the city of Selma Congress. It's really amazing to me as I look at these pictures. This is probably one of the reasons why I love history so much, that this march took place, the actual march took place only 60 years ago. That's a short time ago. That's not long ago. That's only 60 years ago. Wow. And as we look now, we can see similar images. I mean, I can say that there has been change. And of course, there's been a lot of change, but I don't recognize much change. I'm looking out here at a sea of black people as if I was looking back 60 years ago, a sea of black people still fighting and still wanting the same thing. Wow. This is heartbreaking. This is actually heartbreaking. And we call it Bloody Sunday. Well, at least at this one, they had vendors. It was more of like a festival. But we still have so far to go. So far to go, because it seems like now we're right back where we started from. That's what it seems like to me. Let me know if you feel any change in the comments. Or if you do feel change, if you don't feel change. Let me know in the comments of what you think the difference is now compared to back then. Compared to 1950, 60. Besides what? We can vote. That might stop. And they make it really difficult for us to vote. And by looking who's in office now, this is a mess. This is a mess. This is where he's trying to take us back. He's trying to take us back. Our ancestors fought so hard for this. Beaten, jailed, unalived, sold, hung. Any devious act one could possibly think of has happened to us. And we're still fighting. Still fighting. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But I do absolutely appreciate all the fighters that fought for us, and the fighters that are still fighting and just trying to keep Martin Luther King's legacy alive. I mean, if you all just take a minute to look at what's going on in the video, you really can understand what I'm saying. Black people, we got to do better. We have to do better. And we have to understand that sometimes we are all we got. We are all we got. Let's support each other. Let's love one another. Let's be kind to each other. And let's try to look at reality. And the reality is, we are not too much further away from where Dr. King started. So what do we want for our children? What do we want for our grandchildren? We want them to go backwards, or we want them to go forward? I want them to go forward. And I know that my grandmothers would hate for me to be in any situation of segregation or
in support of civil rights. Stand here in support
injustice
of
and
here in support of racial justice,
all
social justice,
the evil that's
justice.
in the world
They
today.
want us to step back, but we're here to make clear we are going to fight back.
I pray for us every day. I really do. I pray for us as a nation.
God bless you all.
I pray that we can all come together and live. And if we can't live peacefully, then we should be able to live and be happy and be cordial and just live our lives without hate. Anybody ever wonder why we are hated so much? That's just always a thought to me. Why? What is it that what did we do? I'm still trying to figure that out. I was told that when you hate, you fear. Are we feared that much? I think we have more power than we know. We have more power than we know. If we used as much energy as we used on social media, and we weren't trying to outdo one another, and we didn't talk about each other, we would be on top of the world. They keep us against each other. Wake up. Wake up, my people. Don't let them keep putting us against each other. Don't let them do that. Understand what's really going on. Think about what I'm saying. To the young, to the old. Like, share, and subscribe.